Some of the new pictures of the universe that came out on Tuesday show a place where stars are born, how galaxies interact, and a unique view of an exoplanet. The world has been waiting decades to see the first pictures taken by the James Webb Space Telescope, which is the most powerful space telescope ever made. The best space observatory in the world has been under construction since 2004. The telescope and its huge gold mirror were finally launched on December 25th after years of delays. The pictures are worth the wait, and they'll change the way we see the universe forever. NASA says that President Joe Biden released one of Webb's first images, which is the deepest and sharpest infrared image of the far universe to date. The next day, the rest of the high-resolution color photos were made public. Using infrared light, which we can't see, the Space Observatory can look into the mysteries of the universe. Webb will look at the atmospheres of exoplanets, some of which might be able to support life. This could help in the search for life beyond Earth. The telescope will also look into every part of the history of the universe, from the first glows after the Big Bang that created our universe, to the formation of galaxies, stars, and planets that live in it now. Now, Webb is ready to help us figure out where the universe came from and start answering basic questions about ourselves, like where we came from and if we're the only ones in the universe. The first pictures. In the first picture, SMACS 0723, a big group of galaxies act as a magnifying glass for the things behind it. This process, called gravitational lensing, led to Webb's first deep field view, which shows galaxies that are very old and very faint. Some of these galaxies and groups of stars are very far away and have never been seen before. This picture shows the galaxy cluster as it looked 4.6 billion years ago. The near-infrared camera on Webb took the picture, which is made up of images taken at different wavelengths of light over 12.5 hours. Deep field observations are long-term looks at parts of the sky that can show us things that are very faint. Webb's other main goals for the first image release were the Carina Nebula, WASP 96b, the Southern Ring Nebula, and Stephan's Quintet. Webb's study of the huge gas planet WASP 96b is the most detailed spectrum of an exoplanet ever found. The different lengths of light in the spectrum show us new things about the planet and its atmosphere. The planet WASP 96b was found in 2014, and it's 1150 light-years from Earth. It's about half as big as Jupiter and goes around its star every 3.4 days. NASA says that Webb's spectrum shows the clear signature of water as well as evidence for clouds and haze in the atmosphere of a hot, puffy gas planet that orbits a sun-like star far away. NASA says that the find shows Webb's never-before-seen ability to study atmospheres hundreds of light-years away. Nicole Colon, Webb's deputy project scientist for exoplanet science at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, told reporters at a news conference that in the future, Webb will take real pictures of known exoplanets while also looking for unknown planets. And the WASP 96b spectrum is just the tip of the iceberg of what we'll learn. The Southern Ring Nebula is 2,000 light-years away from Earth. It's also known as the 8-burst. In this large planetary nebula, a dying star is surrounded by a cloud of gas that keeps getting bigger. Webb helped find out things about the nebula that had not been known before. This nebula is a shell of gas and dust put out by a dying star. The image from Webb shows the second star in the nebula, as well as how the stars shape the cloud of dust and gas. The second star is surrounded by dust, but the brighter star will eventually send out its own cloud of gas and dust. The image shows patterns because the two stars are orbiting around each other, which stirs the gas and dust. Images like this could help astronomers figure out how the environments of stars change over time. Galaxies are shown by the points of light of different colors in the background. When you look at Stephan's Quintet from space, you can see how galaxies work together. This small group of galaxies was found in 1877. It's 290 million light-years away in the constellation Pegasus. NASA says that 4 of the group's 5 galaxies are locked in a cosmic dance of repeated close encounters. Webb has now shown the grouping of galaxies in a new mosaic, which is the largest image the telescope has ever taken. NASA says that the Webb data give new ideas about how interactions between galaxies may have driven the evolution of galaxies in the early universe. The picture of Stefan's quintet shows in a new level of detail how galaxies can cause star formation in each other when they interact, as well as how a black hole can drive outflows. This gravitational dance of these galaxies can be seen as gas, dust, and star trails, as well as shock waves when one of the galaxies pushes through the cluster. The Carina Nebula is a place where stars are born. It's 7,600 light-years away. It's one of the biggest and brightest nebulae in the sky, and it's full of stars that are much bigger than our Sun. A beautiful new picture from Webb shows its cosmic cliffs. Webb's ability to see through cosmic dust has shown areas of starbirth in the nebula that have not been seen before. This may give us new information about how stars form. Webb is sensitive enough to be able to see the early stages of star formation, which are harder to see. In the picture, what looks like a landscape is actually a huge gaseous cavity with peaks that are 7 light-years tall. NASA says intense ultraviolet radiation and stellar winds from very massive, hot, young stars in the center of the bubble above the area shown in this image carved the cavernous area out of the nebula, and what looks like steam coming out of the mountains is really hot, active gas and dust. The targets were chosen by an international committee with members from NASA, the European Space Agency, the Canadian Space Agency, and the Space Telescope Science Institute in Baltimore. A long future of observation for the Webb and NASA. Paul Melroy, who's the deputy administrator of NASA, says that the mission was supposed to last for 10 years, now has enough fuel to last for 20. These are just the first of many pictures from Webb that will change the way we think about the universe in a big way over the next 20 years. Scientists have guessed some of what Webb might show them, but they're just as excited about what they don't know. We don't know what we don't know yet, says Amber Strawn, who's in charge of communications for the Webb project at NASA Goddard. I think it's true that every time we send a new instrument into space, like Hubble, we find out things that completely surprise us and make us change our basic ideas about how the universe works. Hubble's 31 years have led to a lot of unexpected discoveries, and scientists think the same thing about Webb and what it can do. Eric Smith, a Webb program scientist and the chief scientist of NASA's Astrophysics Division, said that seeing Webb's first images was like seeing Hubble's images after the telescope had been fixed and everything was in focus. When a lot of people look at pictures of space, they feel small, Smith said. When I look at these photos, I feel strong. A group of people can make this amazing tool to learn more about the universe. And seeing that pride in the team and in humanity that we can do when we want makes me proud to be human. Jane Rigby, a project scientist for Webb operations at NASA Goddard, said, "The universe has always been out there. All we had to do was make a telescope and go see what was there." Yes, a very similar feeling of maybe people in a broken world doing something right and seeing some of the beauty that's out there. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more.